everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I have the episode 4 overview of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and my god was it a dark one. Like, very, very dark. So what happened in this episode? Well, a few things. Firstly, we see a little interaction between Io and Bucky, and Io was the woman who was from Wakanda who showed up at the end of the last episode. We see a bit of an interaction with them two, and how Bucky knows her, specifically that she broke him free of the Winter Soldier conditioning in Wakanda during the whole before Avengers Infinity War. And then, so we see that discussion go on. She says, you have 8 hours with Zemo, then we're taking him in. So that is pushed away till later in the episode. At which point, Sam, Bucky and Zemo decide they're going to go and look for some information on a funeral occurring specifically for the mother of Karli Morgenthau, the leader of the Flag Smashers, who has just died, as we know. So they're trying to find some information on that funeral because they think that they can talk her down, because at the moment she'll be pretty vulnerable and pretty susceptible to some stuff because, you know, dealing with her mother's death, she's going to be pretty vulnerable. So that's the plan. And Zemo actually finds the information for the funeral. And then they begin to head back to their little hideout in Riga. And who shows up? Who the hell shows up? Why? It's John and Hoskins. Yay! And then John says, you two don't have any option. We're working with you on this. And when we're done, we're taking Zemo back to prison. And then, of course, Sam and Bucky have to agree because, you know, they kind of broke him out of prison. And then they head back to their hideout, and then it would appear that their 8 hours is up. And then they get stormed by the Wakandans. And there's something that I loved. There was a line from John Walker which immediately made me think of something. Well, the Wakandans want Zemo brought in because of King T'Chaka. And then the Wakandans say to him, we're taking Zemo in. And then he says, you have no jurisdiction here. And I immediately thought to myself, so you have jurisdiction in Latvia, Captain America. I thought, yeah, neither do you, bud. Neither do you. And then the Wakandans reply with, we have jurisdiction wherever we are. And I thought, oh, there's going to be a fight. And then there was a fight. Big fight between the Wakandans and Captain America, Hoskins. And, of course, Bucky and Sam had to join in the fight to, believe it or not, help John Walker. So they had to do that, really. At which point, Bucky's arm gets kind of cut off by Io, but it's not completely cut off. It can be just put back on. She just knows where the break is to, like, pull it off, and she does. One of the other Wakandans also captures the shield by putting one of their lances through it, and I thought, well, one of their spears, and I thought, all right, that's pretty cool. John was completely defenseless at that point, and they all surrendered. The Wakandans went on their way. Zemo ran away, but he does come back, don't worry. And then Sam, Bucky, John and Hoskins are panicking for a while because, oh god, Zemo's gone missing. But then he does show back up pretty quick at the funeral. At which point, Sam does go to Karli after the funeral and starts to talk her down. But John before this said you have 10 minutes with her, then we're doing things my way, which is obviously the violent way, because John. So he starts to talk her down pretty easy. John jumps the gun, and then scares Karli off, and then they all run away. Oh wait, no, this is when the whole Wakandan fight scene comes in. Sorry about that. So the Wakandan fight scene comes in after this. So then Zemo goes missing once the whole Wakandan fight's happened, and then Karli phones Sarah, Sam's sister, and says, I really want to meet with Sam again on his own. And then he complies, except he brings Bucky with him, just in case. Karli isn't best pleased about that, understandably. At which point, Sharon, who was phoned just after the Wakandan fight scene, was phoned to track track John Walker. I will not call that man Captain America. I refuse, especially after what he did at the end of this episode, which I will get to in a moment. She finds him and says, "He's heading to your position, you better get running." And then Carly punches Bucky straight in the face, flies away, and so Carly's running away, a load of stuff's happening, John's chasing them, Sam and Bucky are chasing John and Carly, it's a mess. And it would appear that before all this, Zemo found a bunch of super soldier serums, probably the remaining 12 of the 20. He destroys all but one of them. The last one of which John uses on himself. Yep, John Walker's a super soldier now. Which does not end well for anyone. Because at the end of the episode, Omar gets captured by the Flag Smashers. Well, knocked out, then captured. John goes on a little bit of a rampage while he's freeing himself. He frees him, then Hoskins frees himself during this little battle. Runs back into the fight, but gets very quickly knocked out. And then killed. Immediately. Because he's thrown against a concrete pillar. The momentum snaps his neck, and he dies. Immediately. At which point John just kind of stands still for a minute, doesn't do anything. All the Flag Smashers run away like hell. And then Sam and Bucky also run after the Flag Smashers, but then John snaps back to reality. And then does something very, very, very dark. And that is, he chases down one of the Flag Smashers, not even the one that killed Hoskins, and then proceeds to decapitate him with the shield. In public view, with about 100 plus phones recording the whole thing. Sam and Bucky just look in horror, because they weren't there when it happened, but they saw the immediate aftermath. They just stood there in complete horror, like, that's Steve's shield. And it's just been used to decapitate someone. Their faces were just pretty much like mine. And then the final shot of the episode is John standing atop of this Flag Smasher, holding the shield, the bottom of which is doused in blood. Just covered completely. And that's where the episode ended. Needless to say, I was in shock. I knew John Walker was a bad guy. I had no doubt about that, but I didn't know he was that bad. Like, I knew this guy was going to be a villain. I know he's going to be a US agent by the end of the show. He might even be now, without the title, but I don't know. So, it was a very dark episode. A very, very dark end, I will admit. I was very unpleasantly surprised by how it ended. Like, whoa. But anyway, that's this episode. The next one, of course, we have that mystery character that's been talked about for the last week or so. Very excited to see who that could end up being. I'm hoping it's Steve, because we need him now more than ever, especially how that episode ended. You know, with Captain America beheading somebody with the shield, we need Steve, like, now. So I'm hoping it's him. I really hope it's him, because I can't see anyone else who's going to be able to figure this whole thing out. Because that's his shield. He'll know what to do. I hope. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. So as always, people, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my daaaark YouTube channels. Her link is in the link tree in the description. My sub button is down there. Yep, that big red one. Unless you've already subscribed, then it's great. Thanks for that, by the way. Don't forget to comment as well, because why not? And let me know what you thought of this very dark episode of the show. Whoa, probably the darkest so far. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Stereo. Don't forget to follow Roxanne on her blog as well. Those links are also in the link tree in the description. And lastly, of course, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Goodbye.